Okay, I look like complete shit right now, but you'll understand why in a second. Okay, I just wanted to put this down so it's out and it's available. So if anything happens to me, there's proof of what happened first. Basically, what I'm getting at is that my primary doctor a long time ago was friends with someone that I knew, and he asked this person if I needed a doctor, and he sent me all the paperwork, blah 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 blah. I said, yeah, you can be my doctor. Years down the line, after very open flirtation and after shameless, just shamelessly trying to get at me, and as I turned it down, he got more and more hostile towards me, and so I backed it up, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, this guy can like maybe do things to me to try and get revenge on me or to try and make my life difficult or whatever. So I just stopped going to see him, and then the one time I did see him, I had there was someone that I'd fallen in love with, and I wanted to go visit them in South America. And I told him I needed to go get my shots and stuff like that, and if he would make sure that I had my medication while I was there. And he got very agitated, stood up, stormed out of the room, said, "Figure out a place to get your drugs," and blah 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 blah. And which was completely unnecessary. And so anyway, a friend of mine was pissed off about it and called the hospital and said something, even though I didn't know that they called and said anything. Now, Dr. Tobin asked me, he said, you had to have called and said something about me. I didn't tell him that I didn't because I didn't know what had happened. So once I left his office, I found out what happened, and my friend Kendrick is the one who called Frater and told them what Dr. Tobin had done to me. I didn't press any charges or anything like that. I don't want to. I don't care about all of that. I just want a good doctor who I trust, someone who has my back. So, anyway, now I had a psychiatrist. I have bipolar disorder and extreme anxiety and ADHD. I had a psychiatrist and who was working very closely with me. We worked together for 10 years, and then she left. Her name was Kara Helmer. She left and went back to school, and I was thrown to this other person named Mark Bender. Mark Bender was okay, but I never felt comfortable opening up and talking to him. So basically, I would go into the office, he'd refill my prescriptions, and I'd leave. Then there were times where my urine analysis would come back incorrect. But every time he would send it in, when he'd send it into the lab, it was always right. So them testing it in the clinic had its problems. But anytime he sent that specimen into the actual lab, it always came back perfectly fine. So a couple of times he said, "Hey, I'm not giving you your medication because your urine analysis didn't come back the way